What's going on, guys? Matt in the Hat, Keller Williams Diamond Partners. You are tuned in to the Hot List. This is episode 264, and it has been a crazy week with chamber meetings since I am the new chairman of the board for 2023 for the local Chamber of Commerce here in Emporia. Been some things going on in my personal life, and this week just honestly got away from me. Normally, these are going to come out Tuesdays at 12 o'clock Central Standard Time, 12 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. And because it's going to be a weekly show now instead of a daily show. So I will definitely work on that and get better at that, not just next week, but going forward as well. You know, I often get asked what a seller can do that is either minimal or easy that can add value to their house. And that kind of got me thinking. And this actually came up about 3 weeks ago with my most recent seller client. They actually asked me what cheap upgrades can they make to the house that would add value or just show a little better. And so I started going through the house, and that got me thinking about this episode today is, what affordable ways and what options are there to make improvements to your home without some type of major renovation? Because there's options like that you can do with low cost purchase of supplies. You can either do it DIY style or hire a professional, which is, what people like me do. And of course, you have to have the time or set the time aside for these projects. And, these could all not only increase the value of your home, but make it show better and potentially sell quicker. This could also, doing some of these could also save you money on energy costs and improve the quality of living if, maybe you're just ready for an update and not ready to sell. Before you get started, you do need to consider what needs to be done first. Do you need protection from the elements? Is there some type of mold remediation that needs done? Is there a safety concern that needs to be addressed? Or maybe you're just looking for overall energy efficiency. These are just a few that I was kind of coming up with and was doing some research on. So once you have those narrowed down, next is going to pay attention to enhancing the appearance of the house if your goal is to attract buyers. For example, enhance the appearance of a certain space, lighting, curb appeal, or maybe just your interior decorum altogether. So today, in answering the question of the week, what cheap upgrades can I make to my house to add value? We're actually going to talk about the top 5 economical upgrades to increase a home's value. Number 1, we're going to start where we should all start. Start simple. This is going to go with everything. This is mostly my personal preference because I default to the KISS method since I am a veteran and a veteran of the Army. This is something that I'm very familiar with and very used to, is the keep it simple, stupid method. Now, this could be touching up floors, walls, fixtures, or maybe even the cabinetry in the house. And these can all be done at a minimal expense. Whether you're sanding and repainting, maybe putting some wallpaper up, taking wallpaper down, or retiling, each will give a new look to what is currently an old or maybe dated house. I would also like to add that if you can find some items on sale, items like updating your older appliances or maybe even your countertops are a great way to spruce up the house and the kitchen area. Uh, Again, either finding them on sale, maybe clearance, that would be able to do this affordably without breaking the bank. Now, more than ever, you can actually replace your old or dated hardware like handles, knobs, locks, outlet covers. These can all be updated with a new style or maybe something you're looking for, a unique kind of style. No matter what it is, you can typically find these relatively cheap. There's also a trend right now to paint over certain fixtures, tiles, tubs, as well as countertops. You can absolutely do this. I would caution, just if you're going to do this, match colors and the style of that particular room, furniture, or appliances. And if you have something like ceramic, porcelain, or fiberglass, I would recommend contacting a professional about either recoating those or painting those, because they're professional. They know the best way to get it done. There might also be some safety issues or safety equipment they have that you may not have. Number two is give the illusion of space. Do you have an unused room, or maybe it's just a smaller room you're not sure what to do with? You can turn that room into a functional space. For example, maybe a den, office, or guest room. And this can be accomplished by simply adding furniture, rugs, pillows, maybe even a wardrobe, or if you want some background noise, you could throw a TV in there somewhere as well. Now, I'm not saying go out and buy all of this brand new. We're doing this on the cheap, right? So many of these items you can actually pick up at a Goodwill store, estate sales, auctions, maybe even garage sales, but get creative when looking for something to do with this. And if you do it through one of those avenues, you are going to be able to keep the cost down, as opposed to buying something brand new and paying more than what you would otherwise. One thing that we've talked about on the show before that I just want to mention again is adding mirrors to a smaller area will give the appearance that the room is a little bit larger. So simply by adding one or two mirrors with the reflection, it's going to make the room appear bigger, which is also very cool. What you can also do is add visible storage like floating shelves, and this is going to show people about the capacity and storage potential, or maybe the display potential, depending on what they're going to do with that room. And that is just going to kind of help get the wheels turning and see what they can do. And of course, finally, what you want to do with this room is declutter the area. Get rid of bulky or outdated furniture, and that's going to free up some of that space. Now, before this is going to take us into number three. So before you completely toss out that furniture, depending on the condition, number three is refurbish instead of replace. So if some of that furniture can be refurbished instead of replaced, then you absolutely want to hang on to it. We mostly see this furniture right now. I'm sorry, we mostly see this trend right now with furniture like dining room sets, bedroom sets, or bedroom furniture like dressers, vanities, things of that nature. Maybe even some living room table and end tables, or a coffee table and end tables, something like that. Now, it's not going to just stop there. You can also restain or refinish old wood on a deck if you have deck, maybe even your bedroom doors or interior doors. You can do that. And of course, the furniture, like I mentioned. One thing to keep in mind with doing this is windows can actually be updated by adding or replacing the molding around the outside of it, or even painting the frames of windows as well. This will also give the appearance of a larger window and a little more modern window as well. If you do have to replace the windows, like if you know they're original to the house, you've never done it, this can still be done relatively inexpensively, just and still get energy efficient windows. I would just recommend vinyl windows for that. They are still going to cost you some money, but with the vinyl, they're going to be a little more affordable than the standard ones that you could buy. Number 4, this is one that I talk a lot with all of my sellers, and that is upgrade the lighting. Now, this is one of the simplest ways I feel that can be done. And this can be accomplished simply by switching out the dated soft white light bulbs to the brighter daylight bulbs. That's going to make a huge difference. Even if you have the candelabra style light light bulbs, whether it's in ceiling fans, lamps, fixtures, you can still buy daylight candelabra, and those are going to make a huge difference with improving the overall lighting. You can also improve the ambiance of a room with a different light fixture altogether. So maybe you want a new or updated chandelier in the dining room, or maybe you have a house that's more industrial farmhouse. You could look at getting a vintage lantern, and this would give a more rustic charm to the house. One thing to consider as well, if you maybe your dining room or your kitchen doesn't have as much light as you'd like, some people just have a standard exterior door. Consider investing in a sliding glass door. This is going to bring more natural light into the house, definitely brighten up one or both of those rooms. And this can be done for anywhere between $1,000 to $3,000. Of course, this is going to vary by location, but that would be something to consider as well. And then finally, in this category, painting can help increase the brightness of a room. Now, with painting, in order to do this, you want to choose a more neutral color that's going to soften the environment and brighten up that room, that's going to be a little more pleasing to the average eye. So you want to do, some type of gray, white, tan that is going to be a little brighter and a little softer versus, like a navy blue, pink, turquoise, one of those colors. And finally, number 5, which is probably the most powerful of the 5 on this list, improve curb appeal. The outside of your home is the first impression buyers or neighbors are going to see when they drive by the house or they pull up to the house. You don't get a second chance to make a first impression. We all have heard that multiple times. And this can be accomplished by simply painting the front door, adding some potted plants outside, maybe planting some shrubs if you have a barren area in the front you don't know what to do with, or nothing has ever been there. Brighten it up with some potted plants, paint some shrubs, and with this, you're not only going to be beautifying your property to help increase the look, but you're going to help the environment as well. One of the best things that you can do outside to improve curb appeal as well is pay attention to the exterior of the house. Maybe you have worn siding, dirty siding, peeling shingles. These will all turn off buyers. It's just a fact. More often than not, going into, there's going to be dirt or stains that are going to accumulate during the wintertime, maybe the springtime, or even the fall. And these, a lot of times, can be remedied simply by power washing the siding, getting some of that dirt and grime off of there. You don't have to use any harsh chemicals more often than not. Just the power washer alone will take that off. You can use something like Dawn dish soap, or some type of degreaser if you would like. But more often than not, you can just get it accomplished with power washing alone. Now, if you do need to replace some of the siding due to damage, the most affordable options out there are going to be like a vinyl siding, or maybe even a fiber cement. These are both relatively affordable, and they are resistant to rotting as well as termites. So those are going to be the top 5 economical upgrades to increase your home's value. I'm curious, have any of you done one of these or all of these, either to just improve your living quality or before you sold a home? So before you sold your home, let me know in the comments. I would love to hear that from you guys. Also, throw in there, were you able to accomplish this from a DIY standpoint, from doing some research online, watching YouTube videos, or did you find that it was better to hire somebody to get it done because they were going to, maybe you were on a time crunch and they were just able to get it done faster than you would be able to? So make sure you throw those in the comments, because I would love to see that. Also, don't forget, now, since this is a weekly podcast instead of the daily, I have my question of the week form in the details below for your convenience. So if you have a question that you would like asked about real estate, all you got to do, simply fill out that form and it will send me that notification, and I will be happy to get that added to the rotation and get that answered for you. Because if you have that question, the chance that somebody else has that question is extremely high. And what better way to not only help you, but help more people by answering that question? And since I'm on the topic of helping other people, I do have one last favor to ask of everybody. Please leave me a review on iTunes, Spotify, or whatever podcast player you are tuning in. It helps with the algorithm. It helps me get in front of more listeners like you. So if you could please do that, I would greatly appreciate it. And until next time, I will see you again. I am your host, Matt Johnson with Keller Williams Realty. I do this because your experience matters and should be trusted with a veteran. I'll see y'all next week. Take care.